Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the mystery shack from the show Gravity Falls. I hope that you guys enjoy this one. This has been a long-term request, and as a matter of fact, the only reason that I'm making this is, of course, because of your guys' requests. So if you would like to see more cartoon-related content in the future, please do keep up those comments. Thank you so much for suggesting the mystery shack, and I can't wait to see what you guys have in store for me next. I look forward to building cartoon houses. It's one of my favorite things to do on the channel at the moment. Anyway, here is the mystery shack from all of the possible angles that you might want to view it from. Hopefully that satisfies your guys' curiosity before we build this thing. And please do remember, for this series to continue, I'd really appreciate it if you could like the video. I'd really appreciate it. If you like the video, legend has it that you won't end up in a shack in the middle of the woods, because that is the last thing that you want to happen, let alone a mystery shack. I don't know what could happen there at all. But like the video, it'd really help me out, and without any further ado, why don't I actually show you how to make this glorious looking thing. I've only just realized that I said that if you don't like the video, you'll end up in a mysterious cabin in the woods. That's probably the worst thing that I've ever said in the intro of a video ever. I don't mean that. Please just like the video. You won't end up in a cabin in the middle of the woods, unless that's what you're into. I wouldn't. That sounds horrible. I hate camping. So if you want to make it, here's what you'll need. You actually need all of these materials and some more. So the main ones that we're going to be starting off with, we need oak wood planks, dark oak wood stairs, red hardened clay, yellow stained glass pane, block of quartz, signs, and some dark oak wood fence. However, we will be needing all of the others, so if you like, you can pause the video right here, take note of what we need, but we will be needing even more later on. I cannot stress that enough. That is not everything. So once you have each one of these materials, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'm going to be making mine inside of this rectangular shape right here. Believe it or not, the mystery shack doesn't take up an insane amount of space. You can, however, expand and add a forest around the build, which of course will not fit in these dimensions, but the shack itself will fit in a 27, that is 27 blocks coming across the front, by a 44, that's 44 blocks going towards the back area. If you make this same rectangle in your world, you want to start on the very front bottom left hand corner of your rectangular shape, and you want to count in from the right, from the left here, you want to count in to the right and find the third block in. So that's first block, second, third block. From this third block, you want to count inwards by 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is where we will begin the build. So on top of this block, we want to have a row of 7 oak wood planks coming up from the ground. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that. Then do an upright diagonal. Go up on top of that by 1. Do an upright diagonal. Go up by 2. 1, 2. Do an upright diagonal. And go up by 2. 1, 2. Do an upright diagonal. And go up by 2. 1, 2. Do an upright diagonal. Up by 1. Upright diagonal. Up by 1. So you want to have something which should look like this. We now want to start coming back down from the last upright diagonal that we did, and we want to do a bottom right diagonal and go down by 1. Bottom right diagonal down by 2. 1, 2. Bottom right diagonal down by 2. 1, 2. Bottom right diagonal down by 2. 1, 2. Then do a bottom right diagonal, go down by 1 to a bottom right diagonal, and then connect that block all the way down to the ground, like this. And something else that we can do is take the block that touches the ground, and then find the one above it, and extend this block that is above the one that touches the ground, extend that all the way over to the left, like this. We now want to take the block that you just connected to, so this one, and you want to extend it outwards in front of the build by 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Extend that to the ground, and also take that 4th block and extend it all the way over to the right, and connect it back to the mystery shack, and also connect it down to the ground. So we're making kind of like a decking area like this. You can even fill this in using oak wood planks. And once you've filled this in with oak wood planks, we'll actually add some details to this place whilst we're at it. I mean, we have to do it sometime. There we go. And we now want to, starting from this block right here, so like the frame on top of the decking on the left, you guys can see this block, it's this one. You want to go to the right of this by 3 with your oak wood plank, so that's 1, 2, 3. Then place a dark oak wood plank, go up on top of it by 3, 1, 2, 3. Go left by 1, but also go right by 4, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Take that 4th block, extend it down to the ground, but also go to the right of it by 1, like this. We now want to place a layer of red hardened clay inside of the center of this shape, leaving just enough room for you to walk through the door. This is the front entrance, like that. We're then going to extend out the dark oak wood planks 1 row out in front of the build like this, so that we have this kind of shape, and we want to use our oak wood stairs to create this shape. So this is in line just above the door. You want to have a triangular shape that looks like this, so you can see that like you want to take the 3 center blocks, you want the left hand center block to be a stair, the right hand center block to be an oak wood stair, and then you actually want to connect them above together like this to form this sort of shape here using your oak wood planks, and you just oak wood slab rather, and that is what you want to have. Wonderful. Once you've done that, we now want to go all the way to the right of the door, and we want to add a row of oak wood planks just to the right at the bottom of the door. We want to take this oak wood plank here, this second one, coming out right of the door. We want to grab our oak wood fence, our oak wood planks. You want to place an oak wood fence in front of that door with a plank on top, with a sign on top of that. There we go. Now, we want to add a window to the front of the mystery shack. So the window is situated where we have the rows of 3 for the roof. You want to take the first row of 3 that we placed for the roof. You want to take the middle block in the row 3, and you want to go right of that middle block by 1 using your oak wood planks. You then want to go right by 5 using your yellow stained glass pane. So that'll be 1, and then, oh, this is tricky, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Then add 2 layers of glass on top of this. So add 1 layer of glass, and then 2 layers of glass, like that. Extend up the 3 center blocks, each by 2 rows. That's 1 row, and then 2 rows. There we go. And then take the center block and extend it up 1 more time. So you want to have something which should look a little bit like that, which actually looks quite strange at the moment. But if you fill in the back wall, or if you fill in the actual, like the front wall, this is the front of the mystery shack, if you fill this in using oak wood planks, then you will nice and successfully have pretty much the front of the mystery shack. I mean, we have the roof to do and everything, and we also do have a little bit of the decking, but this is most of the front. So we're just going to add some additional planks here, 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 here. Just got a little bit to do up at the top, like that, and boom. So we want to have something which should look like that. That's looking pretty good so far, if I do say so myself. Now that that is sorted out, the decking. So, in line with where we have the actual entrance, where we have the dark oak wood planks, we want to place on the edge of the decking an oak wood slab. So, where it corresponds to the dark oak wood planks, we want to have an oak wood slab here. We then want to place a couple of oak wood planks coming downwards diagonally like this, connecting to the ground, and smooth them off using your oak wood slabs like this. Then fill in between these using oak wood stairs to create a step up towards the decking like that. Wonderful. Whilst we are out here, I'm finding that I'm doing a lot of things that I was planning on doing later right now. We might as well do this now as well. So, grab the oak wood fence, and somewhere in the front left-hand corner-ish of your shack, it doesn't have to be in a precise location, place an oak wood fence. Place 2 oak wood planks on top, 1 and 2. Place an additional fence. Now, we're going to place a sign on the very bottom right-hand side of the oak wood plank. The bottom oak wood plank, to the right of it specifically. Now, I'm going to grab cobblestone slabs, and I'm going to place a plus-shaped cobblestone slab layer at the very base of what we've just made. Now, we need glowstone and wooden trapdoors. We'll place a glowstone on top, with wooden trapdoors completely surrounding the glowstone, whichever faces are available, and on top as well. And that is a nice little light feature that is present on the Mystery Shack. If you also wanted to make the place look a bit more authentic, there are it depends what pictures you go from, because on some pictures the Mystery Shack has these, and on some it doesn't. But on some pictures, there's quite a few signs surrounding the front of the Mystery Shack that says like $5 and please come in and dangerous and all things like that. So it depends on what version you want to go for. I've made one that's kind of in between. What we now want to do is we're going to plan out the roof a little bit. We need dark oak wood planks, dark oak wood stairs, and we also need, I've just realized, we will be needing the dark oak wood slabs as well. The roof is a little bit weird. Come to the left-hand side of the Mystery Shack. The roof is going to start here on the left where this like row of 7 oak wood planks begins. We're going to have a dark oak wood stair coming out of the left of this 7th plank, with a dark oak wood plank underneath it. Then on top of this row of oak wood, here's how it works. Like on top of this row of oak wood, or to the left of this row of 2, we want like an oak wood, a dark oak wood plank with a stair on top. Then for this next bit, because it's a row of 3, we want to have 2 planks and then a stair on top. And then another row of 3 means 2 more planks, a stair on top. Then another row of 3, 2 planks, stair on top. As we come to the top here, there's only 2 blocks. So we have a plank, stair on top. As we get to the top, we want a plank, a stair on top. And then at the very top of the Mystery Shack, we want a dark oak wood slab. And I know that's a really weird way to describe the roof, but that's kind of the best way that I can describe it. That's how the roof works. And on the right-hand side, we want the same thing. So on the right-hand side, where we have these two blocks, we have a dark oak wood stair and a dark oak wood plank to start it off. And then as we come up the side of the build, we basically want to place just dark oak wood stairs at the top of the row that we're kind of, it's kind of difficult for me to describe, but I mean, it's kind of obvious what you have to do when you look at it. Like the blocks that you place next to it, you want to place dark oak wood planks unless it's at the top, in which case it's a stair, so that it kind of transitions a bit smoother. This roof also wants to overhang the front of the build by 1 row, so if you extend that roof outwards by 1 row, then, well, I mean, that's kind of what you want to do. So yeah, like I said, I mean, the roof's kind of tricky in some ways, but it does make sense as to why it's like this. It's just a little bit different. It looks a little bit more shapely than it would otherwise. You could just use solid dark oak wood plank blocks, but I think that that's always a little bit boring, and if you get the opportunity to use some stairs, then I don't see why you wouldn't want to. But yeah, that looks pretty decent like that. And if you then wanted to further add a little bit more, you could always place upside down stairs underneath where the joins in the roof are. This is not necessary even in the slightest. It might even look a little bit odd in comparison to the Mystery Shack itself, but it's kind of up to you whether you want to do that. That's what it looks like, and I don't think that it looks too bad at that, but that's my opinion. Now that that's sorted out, that has been a really long part of this tutorial, we can now move on to the next bit. So we want to come to the right hand side of the build, and we want to come all the way down to the bottom. We want to grab our oak wood planks, and we want to take this oak wood plank block right here. Can you guys see the one that I'm talking about? It's connected to the ground, like this. It's also connected to the decking. You want to take this block and you want to extend it backwards by 11 using your oak wood plank. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, like that. You then want to connect that block down to the ground, but also extend it out of the right of the build by 7. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like so. We then want to take this 7th block and we want to go up on top of it by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then do an upright diagonal. Up by 1. Upright diagonal. Up 1. Upright diagonal. Bottom right diagonal. Down 1. Bottom right diagonal. Down 1. bottom right diagonal, connect, whoa, don't connect, extend down to the ground by, what's that, by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. We then want to go left of this fifth block by 2, 1, 2. We then want to go up by 2, 1, 2, left 2, 1, 2, then down 2, 1, 2, connect to there. So we want to have something which should look like this. We can fill this particular shape in using oak wood planks, except of course leave the 2 empty bottom blocks alone. That's an entrance, so we don't want to mess with that. So we want to do this, like that. Wonderful. We also want to add a roof to this thing. So this roof functions very similarly to the roof that we've just done at the front of the build. So we'll start on the side here. We'll place a dark oak wood stair on the left hand side with a dark oak wood plank underneath it. And then for the next row going upwards, we want to place a plank, stair on top. Then for the next row, plank, stair on top of here, dark oak wood slab on top of there. So that's the left hand side. You can see how this pieces together. We also want to do the same thing to the right. So on the right, we'll just emulate what we've just done there on the left. And we also want to extend this roof out of the build by 1 row. So we want to have this overhang the side of the build by 1 row. It makes it look a little bit nicer. And once we've done this, we'll actually be adding a little bit of detail to this side of the build as well. So now that is sorted out, wonderful. We now want to, what's best to do? Okay, so now we want to grab our stone brick slabs, or if you have them, stone brick blocks. I mean, the stone brick blocks are a little bit better for this. We want to place a layer of stone brick blocks that goes all the way around underneath this overhanging part of the mystery shack. This wants to come all the way underneath this overhanging part of the mystery shack, like that. We then want to take this particular part of the shack, and we want to take this, like, these 2 corner stone brick blocks, and we want to extend them outwards by 3 out the side of the build again. 1, 2, 3, that corner, and 1, 2, 3, that corner. We want to place oak wood planks in between them, like this. We want to place oak wood planks in between them, except, yeah, oak wood planks in between them, like this. And then, when you get to the end, you actually want to stick stone brick stairs on the end, and then you want to place oak wood stairs in front of them, like this. Perfect. There's a cooling machine or something on this particular side of the build. So on the very left-hand side of this, like, outward part of the build, we want to place a red hardened clay with a block of quartz on top, with a red hardened clay on top of that, and extend each one of those blocks to the right by 1, like so. I'm just making sure that there's nothing else. Oh, there is something else. On the right-hand side here, we want to place 2 horizontal quartz blocks in these 2 positions. I think that's, I can't remember, I think this is like a drinks machine or something, and that's like a cooler. I can't particularly remember, to be honest with you guys. Also going to grab the dark oak wood fence, stone brick slabs, I bet you guys know, and the stone brick stairs. And leaving a gap between the left-hand side of this machine and leaving a gap between the right-hand side of this cooler, you want to place 3 dark oak fence coming up from the porch. That's 1, 2, 3. And on the left as well, 1, 2, 3. What we then want to do is, using our stone brick slabs, we want to place a slab on top of each one of these dark oak wood fence. We want to connect them together, and then we slowly and gradually want to diagonally extend the slabs back towards the mystery shack. So half a row higher and half a row inwards, or a whole row inwards rather. You want to extend a nice little overhang for the porch coming backwards. We then need spruce wood slabs, and we want to place a spruce wood slab half a row above where the center stone brick slab is. So, can you see here, in this position, we want to place a spruce wood slab. Extend that slab to the left by 1. Then up 1, left 1. Up by 3, 1, 2, 3. Right by 1, up 1, right 2, down 1, right 1, down by 3, so that's 1, 2, 3, and then go left one, down one. So we just want to have something which should look like that. Now, once that is taken care of, we might as well also add a little bit of detail to this left-hand side of the build. So now we're going to grab some stone and we're going to grab some spruce wood. And it doesn't particularly matter where precisely you place these. But if you place a row of 2 rows of 3 logs somewhere in the middle front right-hand corner of the build, if you place like 2 rows of 3 logs, so that is 3 logs in a row there, and then leave a gap of 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we place another row of 3 logs in this position here. Then, if we create some stone paving in front of these, so if we extend out and dig into the ground in front of the logs, I don't know, it doesn't really matter how long the rows are. I mean, they can be as long as the edge of the cabin, or they can stop 1 block short. This is really subjective stuff. It doesn't have to be perfect if you just place them like this. And then if you extend out the holes that you've dug by 1 row either side, so if you extend out the rectangular holes 1 row either side like this, then if you fill them in with stone, then these 2 areas is just present on the cabin. I've never watched the show, but I guess maybe it could be parking, or it could just be that this is where people gather, or I'm not entirely sure what this particular part of the mystery shack is, but it's definitely present on the actual shack, and I would highly suggest adding it. Now, the next bit, if you come all the way to the right hand side of the part of the shack that overhangs, we last left off where we placed this oak wood plank, and we extended the plank over and created the doorway. Well, now we want to take this oak wood plank where we last left off, and we want to extend it coming backwards by 7. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like this. Connect that 7th block down to the ground, and then extend that 7th block backwards, coming towards where the back of the cabin will be, by 11. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Extend that down to the ground. Then take that 11th block, and you want to extend it across so that it will connect to the front of the cabin. You want to connect it down to the ground, and you also want to connect it to the front of the cabin as well. This will create the back of the mystery shack. It will create the base, and you'll have something which should look like this. The next part of this is going to be us making the very back of the mystery shack, and it looks very similar to the front, minus the color and shape of the actual entrance. But once you've created this shape, you want to start with this back corner of the mystery shack, this block. On top of this block, you want to go up by 5 with your oak wood planks. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then do an upright diagonal and go up by 1. Then do an upright diagonal, go up by 2. Do an upright diagonal, go up by 2. Upright diagonal, up by 2. Upright diagonal, up by 1. Then do an upright diagonal, place 1 on top, but also take that diagonal, do a bottom right diagonal from it, down by 1, do a bottom right diagonal, down by 2, bottom right diagonal, down by 2, bottom right diagonal, down by 2, bottom right diagonal, down by 1, then bottom right diagonal, and then connect down to the corner of the build. And the shape that you've just made will look suspiciously like the front of the cabin. It is pretty much the exact same deal. What we then want to do is we want to do a couple of things. So if we start in the very bottom left hand corner of the empty space that we've created here, we want to take this block and we want to go right of this by 4 with the oak wood planks. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Place a red hardened clay, go up by 2, 1, 2, right by 2, down by 2, and then go to the right of this using your oak wood planks like this. Then we're going to fill the entire back portion of this in using oak wood planks. In some iterations of the shack, and it's really hard to find pictures of like the back of the shack, I have seen like a window above this, but then in others I've not seen a window at the back. So I don't know which to believe. It's kind of weird when like you've got two contradicting things. So if you like, you could easily add another window to the back of the Mystery Shack. You could add one, or you could not add one. It's kind of up to you. Like I said, I don't know what to do. I'll leave that up to you whether you want to add one or not. So next thing we're going to do is the porch on the back of this build. So we want to have a porch coming out of the back. This is going to use some stone bricks. We want to take the corner block, the block that is connected down to the ground at the back of this build, and we want to extend it forwards using your stone bricks. We want to extend it forwards by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Connect that down to the ground. Do the same on the opposite side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Connect it down to the ground. We then want to take the stone brick that hit the ground, and we want to go left of it using the oak wood planks by 1. Then place 3 oak wood stairs going left. 1, 2, 3. Then place a row of oak wood planks going all the way over to the left. We then want to place stone bricks on top of the planks, and we want to create a row of oak wood planks that will form the base of the decking here, the base of the porch, but we also want to place a row of oak wood stairs above and behind the previous row of oak wood stairs here, just so that you are able to actually access it, like that. Next thing we want to do is add a sofa to the back here. So there's a sofa on the back. We're going to place it in the back right hand corner of the porch. Basically, we just want to place an acacia plank. Then we want to go left of it by 2 of the acacia wood stairs. Then a plank. We'll extend each plank forward. Then we'll place acacia wood stairs in front of the stairs. And then we'll place an acacia wood stairs on the left backhand plank and the right hand backward plank, like this, kind of like facing away from each other, and then acacia wood planks at the back, and that forms a nice sofa shape. Then we're going to grab dark oak fence and some stone brick slabs like this, and we're going to take the 2 outward corners of the porch. So we want to take the oak wood planks, and we want to place rows of 3 dark oak fence coming up from each oak corner. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then on the other corner, 1, 2, and 3. We want to place stone brick slabs on top of each one of these and connect them together like this. And then we gradually want to create a nice graduation of stone brick slabs coming all the way up to the top here, all the way up to the actual house. We want to have rows of stone brick slabs gently coming half a row at a time up towards the actual back of the Mystery Shack. So we just want to have something which should look a little bit like that. And that is absolutely wonderful. So the next thing, we're going to add the roof. So the roof is, once again, it's made out of dark oak wood planks, it's made out of dark oak wood slabs and some dark oak wood stairs. The roof on the back is the same as the roof on the front, so I'm not going to describe it to you any more times. I'm sure that you guys understand how this roof pieces together now. So it's the same as it is on the front, and later on we are going to connect each one of the 3 roofs together. So we have the one at the front, we're making the one on the side on the back now, and then we'll have the one on the side to connect together. Good news is, however, they are all very, very easy to connect together. There's not too much to it whatsoever. So we're just going to make this roof, and then we're going to extend it outwards out of the back of the actual Mystery Shack by 1 row. And I think that on this back, on the back side here, I am going to add the trim of upside down dark oak wood stairs underneath the overhanging bits, which will create a nice little bit of detail, and it'll also help the roof weave together a little bit. I'm also considering adding a window because, as I might have mentioned, I don't know whether there is actually one. I've seen 2 different pictures which contradict each other, saying that, oh, there is a window, and then another one that's like that there is nothing back here other than pretty much a sofa. So I don't know which one to believe. It's kind of up to you whether you want to add one. It's your build. If you feel as though there should be like a window here on the back, then feel free to add one. I'm kind of thinking that I should add one. Although it's not in the original plans, so I think that I'll probably leave it, actually. If you want, though, you could simply copy the window that you have on the front of the build. You could transfer it to the back. So there we go. We have both sides of the actual Mystery Shack done. So the next bit, I know, there's a lot of next bits in here. So the next bit is actually going to be connecting the roof together. This is kind of the worst bit. So we're actually going to start with the side roof. This side roof, we want to take each block of the side roof and we want to extend it towards the center of the build, and it just wants to come as far back as like the row of oak wood planks that you have, okay, if this makes sense, like the roof wants to come as far back as like the oak wood planks of the wall. So you just want to add your stairs. You just want to extend the stairs, the planks, even the slabs backwards until they are in line with the oak wood planks that you have on the ground. So that is the side roof. That's how that's going to connect back. However, once we have extended this back, we can then work on the next part of the roof, which is going to connect the side roof to the actual big part of the roof, and we'll have to figure out how to splice both roofs together. It should be fairly simple. It should just be a case of like naturally connecting the front big roof to the back big roof, and then we'll probably have to place a few additional stairs blocks in there, but I mean, you know, it's not so bad. So we want to have something which should look like that. That's looking pretty good. The next bit is, of course, as I said, to kind of like extend the front roof to the back roof. And if you start with the left hand side, the part, or the right hand side of the shack that conflicts with the actual middle part of the roof, it just wants to extend towards the middle part, and it just wants to connect in a very natural manner. So if you just add it in like this to start off with, if you just connect it like this, and you can see where there's some conflicts in the stairs, if you just knock out the blocks that aren't melding together well, you knock them out and then replace them, they should connect together nicely. And the whole goal is so that the roof just doesn't look weird, it doesn't connect weird, and there's no holes in it, is pretty much the entire deal. I don't know why I placed a row of stairs there. That's not correct. We don't need stairs here, we need planks here. Silly me, but yeah, that's how this goes. It just wants to extend backwards like this, and it just wants to connect to the middle part of the roof in a very natural manner. So it just wants to look like that, right? And the only other detail is, before I kind of do this and fast forward, is coming up the center of the small roof, we actually want to have a row of grass. So we actually want to have like a row of grass that sits above the center of the small roof here, just in front of the sign. So you can actually just have that as grass. That'll look good. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to actually like connect all of the roofs together. I'm going to connect the front big roof to the big back roof, and I'm also going to join it to the actual right hand side to the small roof as well. This isn't really tutorial appropriate because it's going to take a really long time. It's quite a big roof, so I'm going to go away and I'm going to do all of that. I'm going to fill in all of the roof, and then I'm going to be back once that's done. So I'll do the small roof, I'll connect it to the big roofs, and I'll connect the big roofs to each other. I'll be back once all that's done. You're not missing anything, trust me. If you've managed to make it as far as I have now, you don't need my help for the rest of it. So I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so as you may be able to see, I have joined all of the roofs together. The Mystery Shack is certainly shaping up, it's looking quite good. If you yourself are still working on that, which you probably are because it's only been a couple of seconds, please pause the video here. If you pause the video, you can just wait until you've finished. Once you've hit this point, you can hit play, and then you can sync up with the rest of us. So, just to repeat that, pause the video if you haven't finished that, and once you have, you can then hit play. So the next thing for us is going to take out we need to take out our oak wood planks, our yellow stained glass pane, and that's pretty much it for now. So we have to fill in a few sides of the mystery shack. The entire left-hand side of the mystery shack, the long side where there's got nothing going on, we just want to completely fill this in using oak wood planks. I know, it's boring, but there's just no pictures. I don't know what is on this particular side. I don't know. So just to be safe, we're just going to put nothing on this side, and that'll be that. So that's just completely filled in with oak wood planks. Now, if we come to the front right-hand corner of the build, there is some things here. So we're going to start on top of the foundation, which is this, of course, and we want to start on top of this block right here, this empty space, and we want to go right, and we want to place a row of 3 oak wood planks going right. So that's 1, 2, 3. Then go up on top of this using a yellow stained glass pane. Then go right of the glass pane by 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, like this. Perfect. Add another layer of yellow glass on top of this, like that, and then completely fill all the way around this window in using your oak wood planks. So just completely fill all the way around in the window using your oak wood planks, and that is that particular window sorted out. You can actually do a very, very similar thing on the back. If we come all the way to the back of the mystery shack here, if we start on the right hand side, empty corner space this time, and we go left by 3 using the oak wood plank, so that'll be 1, 2, 3. And then we place a glass on top of that, and then we go left by 4 with the glass. That's 1, then 2, then 3, and that'll be 4. And then we want to place a layer of glass on top of this, like so. And then once we've placed the glass, we just want to place oak wood planks around the glass, and we just want to completely seal this wall using the oak wood planks like this. So just seal up that wall. Now, once you've got that sorted out, we can now come to the front again, and we're now going to focus on this side bit. On the side part of this, we do actually have 2 windows also. The 3 center blocks on this side, so that's 1, 2, 3, like that. That might not look like the 3 center blocks, but trust me, they are. And then place 2 rows of pane on top. 1, and then, oh, it's kind of tricky to place pane where you can't attach it to anything. 1, 2, 3. Like this, and then if you fill in the rest of the wall, then you'll find that that sits perfectly in the center of this side of the build. So like that, it sits perfectly on this side. You actually want to do the exact same thing on the opposite side. On the opposite side here, you can actually fill in around where the window is going to be using your oak wood planks. Now you know where the window is going to be, and you can just leave enough room for the window and you can add it in. It's the exact same as on the opposite side, so you won't have any trouble in finding where to put it. And once you've done that, you have completed a lot of the structure of the mystery shack. That's a lot of it done, but it's not everything. So the next bit is going to be for us to do the giant sign. I'm sure you guys have noticed that we haven't done the sign yet. We need yellow hardened clay for this black hardened clay. We even need some red hardened clay, and we're also going to need some block of iron. So, where does the sign begin, you might be wondering to yourself. So, if you come all the way up to the very top front part of the roof, yeah, you're looking for this block. I know that's kind of tricky, but I mean, it's this block. We're going to knock it out, and it's this block that you're looking for to destroy in the roof. Can you guys see where that is? I'm hoping that you can. I can't make it any clearer. You can also reposition the sign if you're not sure. But this is where the sign begins. This is the mystery sign. So from the block that we've just destroyed, we're going to place a yellow hardened clay. And on top of that yellow hardened clay, we're actually going to go up by 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we actually want to connect this 6th block all the way to the back of the mystery shack. And we want to connect it in the same position that we've just destroyed. So on the very back of the shack, you want to destroy the same block that we destroyed on the front. You guys should hopefully be able to see where that is. And then we want to connect it downwards, like this. We also want to connect the bottom of the sign together. So that includes basically just destroying this bottom row of stairs here and then extending it all the way across using your yellow hardened clay, and that will connect you to the right hand side of the sign like that. That's where the first sign goes. We're going to fill it in now. So this sign, we're going to start on the very left hand side of it, and we're going to begin by placing an entire row of black hardened clay coming from the top to the bottom. We want to take the second block from the top and extend it to the right by 2, 1, 2, up by 1, connect it down to the ground. That's your M. Place a row of yellow hardened clay to the right of your M, and then start from the very top yellow hardened clay and place a black hardened clay to the right of it. Go down by 2, 1, 2, right by 2, 1, 2, connect upwards, and take the very bottom center block and extend it down to the ground. That's your Y. Place a row of yellow hardened clay directly to the right of your Y, and we can start the S. So we're going to start all the way down at the very bottom yellow hardened clay block, and we want to go right by 3 with the black clay. 1, 2, 3. Up by 2, 1, 2. Left by 2, 1, 2. Up by 2, 1, 2. Right by 2, 1, 2. Place a row of yellow hardened clay directly to the right of that because that is the letter S. Then, to start the T, we're going to place a row of 3 hardened clay going directly to the right of the top yellow clay block. That's 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to connect the center block all the way down to the ground, and that is your T. We're then going to do a row of yellow hardened clay to the right of that, and we're going to do the R. So we'll place a row of black hardened clay directly to the right of the yellow hardened clay. We'll take the bottom block, extend it to the right by 2, 1, 2. The middle block will do the same, 1, 2. And the top block, 1, 2, will also do the same. Place a row of yellow hardened clay to the right of that because that is the letter E. For the next letter, letter R, we want to place another row of vertical black hardened clay directly next to the yellow. We then want to take the top block, extend it to the right by 2, 1, 2. Then down by 1, bottom left diagonal, bottom right diagonal, down by 1. That's your R. Place a row of yellow hardened clay to the right of that. And now all we have to do is another Y, which is going to start at the right of the top row of yellow. We're going right by 1, down by 2, right by 2, up by 2, and then we'll take the center block and we'll extend them down to the ground. So we want to have something which should look a little bit like that. I know that's kind of difficult to see, so we're going to completely fill this in with yellow clay because we have to do it anyway, and then you'll actually be able to see mystery. And if you struggled with any of those letters, if you thought that I was doing that too fast or whatever the case may be, then I'll take a good look at the sign for you. We can plonk ourselves in front of it, and then you'll be able to make any alterations to your sign to match this one. So there you go. That is the word mystery written with yellow and black clay. So now that you've completed the mystery part of the mystery shack, we now have to add the shack part. So once again, we're going to need a yellow hardened clay, red hardened clay, and this time we have a newcomer. We have block of iron. So the second part of the sign is positioned as such. You want to find the first S in Mystery Shack, the first S. You want to come all the way down to the bottom of the S, and you want to find the very bottom left-hand yellow hardened clay of the first S. It's this block. Move to the left of it by 1, and then place a row of 2 yellow hardened clay coming outwards from this block. So 1, 2 in that position. Extend that second block down by 6 with your yellow hardened clay. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have to destroy these bottom 2 blocks, 5, 6, and then replace those with yellow hardened clay like this. So you actually have to destroy into the roof. You then want to take that same block that you extended down, and you want to extend this all the way to the right. You want to extend it all the way over to the right, and it actually wants to come as far as the upper sign. We then want to take this end block and we want to extend it down, and we want to extend it down so that we'll be able to connect to the left hand side of the sign. So that'll also mean that we have to destroy 2 rows of the roof, that 1 row of planks with the 1 row of stairs directly on top of it. Unfortunately, those 2 do have to be destroyed, but it's okay, it's for the greater good, because now we will be able to write shack on this. Not the basketball player, the word. So there we have shack. Perfect. So now you want to begin in the very front bottom left hand corner of the sign, and we're going to start with block of iron because the S has fallen off of shack. It's fallen off, so the block of iron represents where it used to be, and we want to go right of this empty space by 3 with the iron. 1, 2, 3. Then go up by 2. 1, 2. Left 2. Up 2. Right 2. We're then going to place a row of yellow hardened clay to the right of that because that is the letter S. Taking out the red hardened clay now, we want to do the H, and that is an entire row of red hardened clay going from top to bottom. Take the center block, extend it to the right by 2, 1, 2, extend that upwards and downwards by 2, and there you will have the letter H. Place a row of yellow hardened clay to the right of that, grab your red hardened clay again, and do another row of vertical red hardened clay going from top to bottom. Take the top block, extend it to the right by 2, 1, 2, extend it all the way down, and then take the center block and connect it together. There you have your A. Do a row of yellow hardened clay directly to the right of the red hardened clay. Then do a row of red hardened clay to the right of yellow. Take the top block, extend it to the right by 2, 1, 2. To the bottom, right by 2. Place a row of yellow hardened clay going from top to bottom like this. And then place a row of red hardened clay going to the right of the yellow hardened clay. Take the center block, extend it to the right by 1. Do an up right diagonal and a bottom right diagonal from it. Extend those diagonals upwards and downwards respectively, and there you will have your C and your K. So there you have your mystery shack. Now all we have to do is we just have to fill these in, all of the spaces in with yellow hardened clay, and then we will have the sign pretty much almost complete. We do actually have one last thing to do regarding the sign, but we are running out of things to do, guys. Don't worry, we're almost done. I know that this has been quite a long tutorial. So now that the sign is almost done, we are going to add just one small bit of detail that's been bothering me. The mystery shack has a chimney on the back right hand corner of the shack. To make it, we need some cyan hardened clay and we need some stone slabs. If you come to the second row of stairs, starting from the very bottom right hand corner of your mystery shack, you come to the second row of the stairs, which is this one. This is first row, this is second row. You take the second stair and you destroy it. Place a row of cyan hardened clay in its place, coming upwards so that is about as high as the actual first sign itself. And then if you place a stone slab around the entire top of the sign like this, and then one on top, then you will have the chimney that is present on the mystery shack. That's been bothering me for a little while. I don't know why. I'm just glad that has actually now been made. You can even bend the chimney a little bit if you like. You can like extend it out by one row. It might even look a little bit better if we extend it out by one row. If we put a bend in it and then we place like the stone slabs once again around the top of it and on top of it. It's kind of up to you though. It does look better with the bend, however. And yeah, there we go. That's a lot better. That has been bothering me since the start. I don't know why. Sometimes things just drive me crazy. I don't know why. The next thing that we're going to do, because as I said, we are rapidly running out of things to do here. The next thing we're going to do, still regarding the roof, above at the very bottom front right-hand corner window, which is this one here, we need to make it look a little bit worse. So the roof above this, we're going to destroy a couple of blocks. So maybe just a couple of rows of stairs, like a couple of stairs here in this position, and maybe like a couple of stairs here in this position. We're just creating a couple of holes in the roof. And we do also actually have to replace some of these blocks using your dark oak wood slabs to give these signs something to grip onto. So we want to have little holes in the roof like this, a little bit broken, and then we're just going to place signs in front of those. And for whatever reason, the roof just isn't that great on the mystery shack, so that represents some nice broken parts of the roof. It looks quite good like that. A couple more things to do would be to add some oak wood leaves to the mystery shack. So specifically like in this corner around here, just like in front of the sign down at the bottom, add in a little bit of leafage is quite good. Maybe something like that. Yeah, that works. You could even expand it out a little bit, make it a little bit more like this. Shape it so that it actually looks good though, like that. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. We'll even add some around the sign here, like this. That looks fine. We'll add some up at the top of the sign here as well, because why not? Perfect. We'll might even add a little bit to the back here, and you can just kind of like add some everywhere around the roof. I'm only going to do it to this side because this is the visible part of the shack, but feel free to add it everywhere. We also have to make the mystery shack signs connect to the roof. This is such a small detail, but if you have it so that they connect to the roof kind of like this, kind of like if you like very covertly like this, if you just connect it to the roof like that, like take the corner blocks coming down from the two corners, if you kind of like come in diagonally and then connect it to the roof, it looks a little bit nicer. Not necessary at all. We also have to connect the big sign to the roof, so if you do a similar thing, if you take the corner blocks here, you take the corner blocks and come in by one diagonally, and then you kind of like connect down to the roof like this, and you might even want to destroy a block of the roof, then that'll just make it so that it connects nicely. It's not just kind of like a freestanding sort of deal like this. I've got to replace the block that I've just destroyed because I'm very, very clumsy. So yeah, if you just connect it like that, it actually looks good. You can even add lights to the sign. The original has lights, the actual proper mystery shack. I didn't add them because I thought that I quite liked it like this. I didn't actually want to add lights to it. On the very top front side, on the very top front right hand corner, the very top center part of the front roof, is kind of like a speaker, so that'll be made out of cobblestone wall, cyan hardened clay, and that'll be made out of a button. On top of this block, we want to add a cobblestone wall, cyan hardened clay in front, button in front, and that is the speaker system that is on the very top front of the mystery shack, looking very, very good up there. And ladies and gentlemen, the last little bits that you kind of want to do, or you might not even want to, like we just might want to plant some trees, we might want to grab some bone meal, we might want to grab some oak leaves, and then all we have to do is kind of like, if we just bone meal around the mystery shack, and if we just heavily just bone meal a little bit of everywhere, just make sure that everywhere looks very nice and very unkept. We'll even plant, I'm going to plant a tree in this corner here just because I think that'll look quite nice. A spruce tree looks really good, by the way. It very much fits in with this. Just place some bone meal around the place like that. That's looking quite good. If you like, you can even like grab your spruce wood and you can place some like logs around the place, because there's like a lot of log seats and stuff, so you could plant one there for instance, and you could dump like one here if you wanted to. And a good thing to put on the back of the mystery shack, where we've not really got too much going on, is if you grow yourself some spruce wood trees, it'd actually look quite good back here, and you know, you can really just customize the area to how you like it. But yeah, it's looking quite good at that. And then if you grab yourself some oak wood planks, something I've just remembered, if you like, underneath the center of the windows, if you connect the center of the window down to the ground using oak wood plank, if that makes sense, it looks quite good. It adds another layer of foundation. You can even do it on the back part here. It's such a small thing. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. It's such a small thing. But if you do that to one side, then you want to do this to the other side. This is very tricky to see where you would want to add it unless you kind of like creep underneath the cabin. But if you just want to add like a couple on this side spaced randomly, it'll look quite good. It won't look too bad whatsoever like that. If you do want to add some lights to the top of the mystery shack, then as I said, then feel free. Oh, and I almost forgot the layer of grass that we placed earlier on top of the roof. Bone meal it, or add some flowers, or do something, and it'll look a little bit better. And that's pretty much the mystery shack, guys. I mean, that's a pretty basic mystery shack. You can kind of like keep adding more and more and more to the mystery shack. You can keep adding more bits of detail, more bits of that, more bits of this. You can feel free to keep adding to it, but this is supposed to be like a simple version, something that you guys can actually replicate, and it doesn't take hours and hours and hours to make. If you want to add more, then feel free to add more, but this is like the bog standard version of the mystery shack. Again, you could just keep going with this thing. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please do remember to smack that like button. It really helps me out, and it lets me know that you guys want to see this series continue. I've made the two highest requests from the past couple of videos. I made the mystery shack for you guys, and I also made, oh, what was my last build, guys? Oh, I also made the Loud House as well. That was the previous cartoon-related build, so feel free to check that out. And as a matter of fact, if you want to check out any more cartoon-related builds, be sure to check out the card system in the description below. You'll find a link to the Cartoon House Builds playlist there, and you guys will have a fun day building all of that stuff. Trust me, it's a lot of fun to build these like fantasy, these cartoon fiction builds. I love them. If you enjoy the content, please do remember to like the video. It'd really help me out. You won't end up in the middle of the forest in a cabin if you don't like the video. I don't know why I said that. That's very serial killery. I don't like that at all. But please do like the video. It really helped me out. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see any more. Comment down below if you do want to see some more cartoon related builds or anything in general. Let me know if you do want to see some more stuff like that. Of course, just comment that down below. Let me know. And if you do want to check out more of my stuff, remember to check out the card system and the description below. You'll be able to see more cartoon related builds. That's the mystery shack that we have there, of course. But we have been working on a few cartoon related builds. I hope that you guys recognize some of these. We have American Dad. We have Family Guy. I'm not giving you very good views of these, am I? We have The Simpsons, we have American Dad again, Family Guy, we have Johnny Test's house over there. That's the Loud House. I love the Loud House. These are really cool. This is Fairly Odd Parents, and this is the Loud House. I think I did an excellent job with the Loud House, but yeah, that's my cartoon related builds. I also make regular builds as well, as you might be able to see in the background. We have, these are two weird ones actually. This is like a modern survival house. This is like a regular survival house. We have all sorts of city builds, all sorts of modern builds. We have all sorts on this channel. Basically, thank you so much for watching, guys. Check out the channel, like, subscribe, all of those things. Comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Never go into the forest alone. It's a bad idea.